Okay, today we are playing a game on Blizzard World. There is no SR for today's game because it was a placement game, and we are playing Reinhardt the entire way through. Because it's a placement game, I also don't care too much about team composition, because who knows who we could be playing with. We could be playing with 11 bronze players for all we know. At least that's what I'm going to tell you the reason is. The reality is I just don't want to do any video editing, so... you know, it does sort of ruin the plan if I tell you the plan, but don't worry about it. So let's just start the game. So our team are going and standing off in, like, truly ludicrous positions right now. We gotta go stand with them. We do have to actually go stand with them, though. Is that if your team are doing something stupid, you just have to come and do something stupid with them, because otherwise, like, you can stay in the position you're meant to be in, but if your team are off doing something stupid and get killed 5v6, doesn't matter if you're in your correct position because suddenly 6 people are going to come running towards you. You just gotta go do the stupid thing with them. Because at least then they're doing something stupid 6v6 instead of doing something stupid 5v6, right? Ideally they don't, but you know, life is difficult sometimes, especially when you play this video game where people are pretty terrible. Pretty terrible. So we're pinning D.Va. Didn't actually turns out we didn't need to pin D.Va because she basically died right there and then before we even got to the end. Cannot take shield down right now to use Fire Strike because we've got 170 health. Yep. Can't do that. The whole enemy team's right there. And there's always a Hanzo. There's always a Hanzo now. I saw a post on one of the subreddits that was like, in Grandmasters, so you know, 6 heroes currently make up 70% of all heroes picked, and it was Reinhardt, Zarya, Mercy, Zenyatta, Widowmaker, Hanzo. Not necessarily in that order. As I recall, Widowmaker was the lowest one, but she was still like 17% or something like that. Not exactly reflective of all ranks necessarily, but some heroes are, like, definitely a lot better right now, aren't they, than all the other ones. Can't wait for Symmetra. That's going to be coming soon. She's been on the PTR for, what, a week, 2 weeks at this point? Like, it won't be long now. They did fix the left-click bug, by the way. Apparently now, the damage is, like, really inconsistent and hard to actually get to go off, but hey, at least she isn't going to come on live and atomize people by spamming left click. Great job, Blizzard. Great job. Solid improvement right there over previous efforts. I've not been paying attention. So we got rezzed after we died, and half our team are dead. So, that's about what's going to happen. We shouldn't have charged like that, regardless, but half our team was dead, so we were not going to be long for that world at that point, basically. Yeah, we didn't need to pin the D.Va. It turns out we super didn't need to pin the D.Va because she died before we even actually pinned her. She got taken out of her mech, rather. She didn't die yet. And then we took our shield down to Fire Strike and died as a result, and then it's all downhill from there, basically. Reinhardt is this way, where when you make one mistake, it tends to have this cascading effect for the entire rest of that fight, basically. It's very hard to correct mistakes that you've made as Reinhardt, especially if that mistake involved pushing the shift key. Because, oof, it feels really good to actually pin somebody, but there is no better way to throw the game. The shift key is the best button in the game for throwing, but it's also the most satisfying button to push, so high risk, high reward, right? So, we're going back here, because we should just hold our shield up in front of Mercy, but we take it down to Fire Strike. There's a Hanzo here, right? Like, if Mercy's trying to res... Damn, he charged that fast, didn't he? If Mercy's trying to res somebody, you should try and protect the Mercy. And that's true regardless of who you're playing. But, like, we're playing Reinhardt right now, so obviously we should be, like, super interested in that. Feels bad to be McCree. There's nothing worse than pushing Deadeye, and then hearing, like, Genji pull out Dragon Blade behind you, or see the tire rolling towards you. There's nothing you can do about it, you know? Not efficient use of company resources. Smack right there, then Fire Strike right afterwards. I've pushed a button. What happened? What's happening? Okay. It started loading, but nothing actually happened. The idea is when you're trying to beat someone to death as Reinhardt, swing as soon as it makes contact, fire strike. Because there's a certain amount of cooldown on the swing again. Fire strike doesn't add to that, except for like a very little bit because the end. Like you hit, you fire strike, it doesn't add to the next swing. There is like a little bit of extra delay because of the fire strike animation being so fucking long. But you've done more damage. Rather than going like halfway through the next swing and then fire striking. So we're gonna earth shatter these boys. We have like already won this fight, but it would be worth it just to like stagger out the enemy team a little bit more basically. However, then our team decides to double down on that and use Graviton and Dragon Blade on it. Those ultimates were not necessary, but they decided to do it anyway, so Fire Strike would have been enough, but Overwatch is this way where people will do stupid shit, you know? So, we don't really want to be this far up on Disney World because of the distance it takes to get back to safety, right? So, fighting up here is not that good because the Rhinehart is this way where like a lot of where you're meant to stand is determined by sight lines. If you're standing up here, the enemy team can shoot your shield from outside of line of sight, and they're also just like right next to their spawn. So, and then there's like this high ground up here. Like, we don't want to fight them up here. This is a bad place to fight. It's really easy to get flanked as well because of these two doorways. Fighting up there is really bad. And then also, if we get in trouble up here, look how far it is to get back to safety. Oh my god, we're up here. We gotta come all the way down the street. And then, like, there's actually more street behind us you need to go down to actually get to safety. So, bad. Bad place to be. We instead fight around here. Because you can stand here and, like, the enemy team have to, like, expose themselves to you to actually shoot your shield. Which is a big thing. But then also, like, less distance to get back to safety. And then there's also this other thing with payload maps where, like, if we lose a fight, like, right here, we've got time to get back and fight them again before they get to the end of the track. Because the spawn on the second Blizzard world is actually, like, pretty okay as far as second checkpoint spawns go. So we don't really want to be up here. That's a dangerous place to stand. We usually pick a fight, like, right here. So... Anyway, we got caught in the Graviton and everybody died. Feels bad, man. We don't have a Zenyatta, do we? Damn. What a tragic life. Oh, now we do. Now we do. Genji turned into Zenyatta. That's a weird one, isn't it? Guess he's finally ascended. Half our team are dead again. So Hanzo's ulted for some reason. Don't do that. Just leave. Don't charge like that. They've caught that checkpoint. This spawn is, like, really scary because you can just get, like, dove over here and die. So we should have just been going back to the next checkpoint rather than charging in to try and fight Zarya. So we almost have Fire Strike built up, and now because we hung around over there so long, all that's happened now is we've died, and they're just going to start pushing it through the third checkpoint for free while we're regrouping again. We should have just backed out. So, we've almost got Earth Shatter built up. That's cool. We've only got to hit one person, really, and there we go. We've basically got it. Both of our DPS are currently dead, so it's going to be difficult to get anything done right now. Hanzo's got his ult again, so that's cool. He's having a great game so far. Who did we catch with this, exactly? We did catch 3 people. No, we didn't quite catch Reaper with it, but it looked like we were going to catch Reaper with it. That's fair enough. We all get yanked into the Graviton. We didn't actually, like, kill anybody in the Graviton, which is sad. Efficiency, again. Get over onto it. Swing. Fire Strike in. Start swinging again. Then you just get an extra swing in on those people, and it might matter because swing, Fire Strike is 175 damage really quickly. Whereas just the Fire Strike is only 100 damage. Only 100 damage, he says. But, like, you know, why do 100 in, like, when you can do 175 in basically the same period of time. So, we have managed to fend them off, as I would hope if we used Earth Shatter and Graviton. We didn't actually kill many people, but we've driven them back. So that's good enough, basically. We're halfway towards Fire Strike again. We need to let our shield regenerate right now. Don't bother putting it back up again. Because they're going to start trying to push in, and oh god, oh no, we're at a 300 right now. We gotta wait for that to get somewhere. Oh look, he's got it again. He's getting his ult like once a minute. It's actually insane how quickly he's building up his. I feel like he has just used it, and then when he did that, I felt like he had just used it, and then when he did that, I felt like he had just used it. Their Hanzo's having a really good game so far. So halfway towards having Fire Strike again. Oh look, fucking Zarya's built hers up again real quickly. That's alright. We would have loved to start swinging into that Graviton, but we were around half health at the time. If you don't think that you can feasibly survive swinging into the Graviton, hopefully just putting your shield so that your team can shoot at them for free is good enough. We could have probably swung into that one, to be fair, because we were like half health and there were only 2 people in it, I think, so we probably could have swung into it. But if you think you're gonna die, usually better to just hedge on the option that isn't gonna result in you dying. The more cautious play is unlikely to have catastrophic results. Jesus Christ. Get fucked. That's how the meta is right now. You get stuck in that and you hope that Transcendence is enough. Transcendence is not always enough. In that situation, we would have needed, like, 3 Transcendences to get out of that one, you know? It wasn't a good situation. They do have to go through the whole checkpoint, so we're going to regroup and get to fight them again. So it's fun. It's no big deal. They don't have a Reinhardt on their team, so earth-shattering them is not really a concern. We don't... As soon as you see a Zarya bubble, as soon as you see a bubble, just wait for it to be gone before you use Earth Shatter, because we could have caught Reaper with that as well, but he had the bubble on him, so we didn't catch him. Could we have actually Earth Shattered slightly sooner? It's always a little harder to tell on the videos, because it's so much more grainy, because I think we could have also Earth Shattered, like, basically as soon as we came around this corner. We see, yeah, but at the same time, Zarya's probably got her bubbles up, so, meh. Not catching Reaper is really terrible, though, because if Reaper's just up next to the people we've Earth-Shattered, he's gonna kill us when we try and swing into them, as we saw right there. We're changing to Winston? Okay. Diva would probably be better to change to, but we're not gonna make it back out here regardless, so relatively moot point, isn't it? Oh, fuck, that skipped forward suddenly, didn't it? Damn. So now we have to attack Didney Whirl, which is a tiring process, certainly. At least it's not as bad as Junkertown or Horizon. It might be worse than Horizon, though, in the near future. We'll see. I don't play on the PTR because it's a waste of space, so I don't know yet, but we'll see. So they... Hanzo is, like, performing an illegal maneuver over here, and he's not getting punished for it. Like, he just starts going towards the right. Go back, because I have to actually, like, try and catch the moment, if I'm going to point out why it's wrong, right? So Hanzo is just going that way, right? And he's just, like, going this way. And who does he have in line of sight to help him? It's like, well, Winston's here. It's not much, is it? Walk up on this boy and start trying to kill him. I mean, he's playing Hanzo, so he can, like, wall climb away from us, but, like, he has gone, like, really out of position, so we should try and punish him for that, because somebody being out of position only matters if you then actually punish them. What's their team composition? Yeah, there was, like, no one to really help Hanzo quickly, so we could have just, like, tried to beat that guy to death, basically, while he was out of position. Just saw Moira in a similar position. Yep, Moira's over there by that doorway now. Moira does have Fade, but similarly, you know, we could try to beat her to death when we saw her over by the doorway. We have a Bastion, that's very exciting. We're very stoked about that. Their Reaper is actually dead right now, which makes things a lot easier for us as Reinhardt. They are trying very hard to kill our Mercy. We saw she got very, very low right here. We should not take our shield down right now because Mercy is so low. Because she just swung past it. We saw she drop real low, and she drops real low again. We should be holding up the shield to try and make sure that, like, Zarya can't finish her, Zarya or Hanzo can't finish her off since she was so low. We are playing a tank, so blocking damage for our team is the most important thing. Doing damage is secondary to that. Similarly to if you're playing a healer, your primary concern is healing, and then doing damage is second to that. A lot of Reinhardts, myself included. Just want to swing the hammer. Just want to let me smash, please. But, sadly, in quite a lot of situations, the correct play is actually just to hold the shield up. Reinhardt's a really boring hero. That's why I don't particularly enjoy playing him, really, but, he was like a mandatory hero for like 3 or 4 seasons, and nobody ever wanted to pick him because he was boring. So I just started playing Reinhardt, and then it never stopped. I had such big dreams. I was going to be the greatest tracer in the world. No, I ended up having to play a lot of Reinhardt instead, so that didn't really get very far. And now I've played Reinhardt for 10 seasons, and Moira for... How many seasons has Moira been in the game? 2? 3 at this point? It's been quite a few. Yo, Cat. How many seasons has Moira been in the game? Good talk, team. Good talk. Good talk. Yeah. And now Baguette as well. But she's just small Reinhardt, you know? So we charge right in, get nano boosted right as we pin Reinhardt, so he's fucking dead. Feels good, not gonna lie. Might have earth shattered that Zarya just out of spite. And then the Zarya would have been like, what the fuck? But she would have been tilted. Tilting the enemy team is a valuable aspect of all competitive multiplayer games, but particularly in Overwatch, because our entire community is made of babies. All of them. Every single member of the community is terrible. Not you, you're fine. But everybody else, including me, I'm also trash. It's okay, I accept that. God, the Overwatch community is just unbelievably awful. Isn't it? Isn't it? And, maybe the endorsements will fix it. Probably not. Maybe the private profiles will fix it. Probably not. Because I can already see what people are going to say when the private profiles are on live. They're going to go, oh, fucking pussy's got his profile hidden. You're probably a Mercy main. That's why you're trash. That's going to be what happens. Instead of them looking at your profile and then going, Mercy main not playing Mercy. What the fuck? They'll just go, hidden profile. Mercy main. That's what they'll do, right? They'll just assume instead. This is why fucking people, some people are actually out there crying about the fucking public profiles getting taken away. Y'all can't be trusted with it. That's why it's getting taken away. Y'all can't be trusted with it. And there's no greater example than the fucking Mercy main thing. Because people look at the Mercy player playing someone else, and they go, what the fuck are you doing? You play Mercy, you can't play any other hero in the game, clearly, what the fuck are you doing? But then, if they pick Mercy, they go, what the fuck, you only play Mercy, you scrub, play a different hero. What are you doing, Mercy, playing a different hero? That's why y'all got fucking public profiles taken away from you, y'all can't be trusted with it. Fucking dumbass Overwatch community, Jesus Christ. And I'm like, oh god, now I can't look at the enemy team and guess what their team composition is. I can tell you what their team composition is. It's Reinhardt, Zarya, maybe Roadhog, Hanzo. Right, Hanzo, probably also Widowmaker or Genji. Zenyatta, Mercy, or Zenyatta, Moira. That's what it probably is, isn't it? You know, there are not enough, like, viable heroes in the game to have a great variety of team compositions. People out there are like, no, I can't look at their profiles and guess what their team composition is going to be. You probably can, first off. But second off, maybe if you all weren't giant fucking gelatinous cunts, you wouldn't have had it taken away from you. But no. That's too fucking sensible for the Overwatch community. Understandable response to immediately swivel around, but he's over there. So let's go back and just appreciate what Reaper was doing. He's just behind that wall and just started spinning. If I were him, I would have just gone Alt F4 right there and then. But he's brave enough to stay. So they wiped us, but we've already captured the checkpoint, so it's irrelevant. Don't worry if they wipe you using ultimates right after you capture the checkpoint. That just means they're bad. So we just immediately Earth Shatter. Don't jump when you Earth Shatter. It just gives the enemy team more time to react to you, which you want to minimize. You don't want to ever Earth Shatter while you're in the air. Earth Shatter already is long enough for people to react to it while you're standing on the ground. You don't want to make it even easier for them and be in the air when you push the button. So, third checkpoint, we wipe them right outside. We get to push through some of this area for free, but the last uphill part right here is the hard part of the map, or this checkpoint rather anyway. This is not the hard part of the map, don't get me wrong, but this is the hard part of the checkpoint. So, their team comp, isn't very good, though, to be perfectly honest with you, and we're just gonna sort of walk through with Bastion, as, you do when you have a Bastion team, usually. Mercy decided to use Valkyrie inside the Graviton, not exactly good. I have known that Hanzo is behind us for a while at this point, because basically, the way that the Mercy died, it was either Hanzo's a god or he's just behind us right now. I'll hedge on the one that isn't Hanzo's a god, though. But, also, we're playing Reinhardt, so it's not... We can't go and deal with that, right? This is the thing I hate playing about Reinhardt, right? Is that I see something happening behind me, and I'm like, shit's going badly back there, and people can't be trusted to deal with it. But, problem is, I'm playing Reinhardt, so that means I can't go deal with that either, because that's not my job. Right? My job is stand up here at the front line. And that's another mistake Reinhardt players make. They're like, thing happening in backline I go deal with because cannot trust team. You gotta do your job, though. Right? You've got to do your job before you try and cover for other people. Reinhardt's job is stand at the front line, don't let the enemy team just walk in. If you go to deal with the thing that's happening in the back line as Reinhardt, that means they just walk up at your team. Because your front line, the main component of your front line just left. So you can't do that. So quite often you'll see something terrible happening behind you and you're just like, well, hopefully someone does something about that at some point. They usually don't, though. It's pretty sad, actually. Life's difficult sometimes, Take your shield down when you've got the bubble on you, just to, try and maximize your shield's life, basically. It's just, walk up in the person with your shield up, with the bubble on you. So, Bastion is getting killed behind us, to be fair. We are playing Reinhardt, so if somebody just kind of, gets killed like that, it is our fault, but it's also kind of his fault for playing Bastion. Gets rezzed regardless, so it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Mercy's a cool hero. We have almost got Earth Shatter built up at this point, and we're just sort of swinging into the enemy team. Don't charge, very unlikely to work on Hanzo. He can lunge out of the way. You're better off just hitting him. Scary, terrible things happening in all directions right now. As soon as I see, a McCree doing that, I hate being in this position, because, oh god, shield's so close to breaking. If he just, locks onto two people, it's all over. Can't actually take the shield down right now to do this. I know our shield is really low, but taking it down to swing at Zarya right here is gonna get us killed. So, that's actually one of the situations where you probably have to let the shield break, because you being alive is more important than your shield not breaking. And we at least can't take it down right there, because we're half health right in front of a Zarya who's got some charge built up. She's going to chew us to death, because this is how Zarya is, very strong girl. Lesbians are very powerful. And Zarya is the most powerful of all lesbians, because she fucking... That's how she got her cannon, right? What, isn't that like a vehicle-mounted weapon that she just ripped off of something because she needed it at the time? Like, she's very powerful. She would kick Reinhardt's ass very easily. But her shield is small, so she doesn't get to be the main tank. She doesn't get to just kill you, though. So, you know. It's not really fair, is it? But life isn't fair at the same time. Many aspects of playing Reinhardt are not fair. For example, sometimes you Earth Shatter them, and it just doesn't do anything, even though nothing's in the way. Sometimes you Earth Shatter at the enemy Reinhardt, and he has his shield clearly up in front of you, and it just goes under his shield and kills them. Because Reinhardt has had all manner of bugs on him since launch, actually, and they've never been fixed, and more have appeared, and the ones that are around have gotten worse, and no attempt to fix them has actually been made. I do, at this point, wonder if Blizzard actually even has a QA department, because there's so much shit like that, isn't there? Like Doomfist, right? We had like 4 patches in a row where if you looked at the bug fixes section, it was like 20 articles related to Doomfist for like 4 patches in a row. Like, yeah, we're closing in on Bethesda levels of not wanting to actually fix bugs at this point. And it's bad enough we let Bethesda get away with that shit. We can't let Blizzard get away with this shit as well. God damn it. Anyway, so we tried to Earth Shatter. Zarya blocked it with the bubble. Is this what looked like happened? Yeah, that didn't actually hit anybody. Feels bad, man. So the unfortunate thing about Zarya is that Earth Shatter... Zarya can react to Earth Shatter and block the team, because her bubble appears basically instantaneously. So, if the Zarya is actually paying attention, she's actually probably like the second most consistent Earth Shatter blocker in the game. More so than Orisa or Winston. Because you might assume it's Orisa that's the second most consistent one. Nah. The Rhinehart can just walk through the shield after the Orisa has put it down. No problem. She can't move it, right? Because you can just see her use it like that right there. Okay, now I just walk through. Done. Zarya can hold her personal bubble and just use it to block Earth Shatter if she thinks that you have it. So, yeah. So the unfortunate thing about Earth Shatter is that its wind-up is long enough for people to react to. And there are quite a few people who can just, like, have completely avoided or negate it on reaction. Zenyatta can completely negate Earth Shatter on reaction if he has Transcendence. Moira can dodge it on reaction. Zarya can block it on reaction. Reinhardt can block it on reaction, but his shield startup is like his shield has a startup on it. It doesn't deploy immediately. So, depending on latency and personal reaction time, that one's hard to do. Earth Shatter's wind-up, though, is really long. If you get decent, it doesn't seem like it, but it is actually quite long. Once you get used to listening for Reinhardt start using his ultimate, it's actually not that hard to react to it. It's this kind of thing that sounds harder to do than it actually is. The thing that'll get you is, like, watching for Reinhardt using Earth Shatter, because the startup on it is kind of ambiguous. To me, the startup animation always looks the same as the Fire Strike startup animation, but Allied Reinhardt does not have an ultimate voice line. Enemy Reinhardt does. So as soon as you hear hammer, you just push whatever button you need, and then bam, you stop it. So anyway, whatever. We're defending Disney World again, and we got there with way more time than them, so that's cool. But this is one of those maps where if they capture the first checkpoint, I've seen them push the payload all the way to the end in overtime. Many times. So, team aren't doing stupid things this time. That's great. We're all up here having a great time together. Our shield's getting really low, so we do need to, like, let it recover at this point. No, don't bother putting it up. It's at 300 health right now. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Right now, shield is basically worthless. I know you want to put it up because people are shooting at you. putting a 300 health barrier up is pointless. You have to just let it regenerate. If we didn't keep putting it up, if we didn't interrupt the recharge like 3 times right now, this shield would be at about 1500 health right now, which is fine. We could put it up right now and that'd be great. But we've canceled the recharge like 3 or 4 times at this point, so it's still just at 300 health. It could be full right now, or very close to full. Like, I understand. Gut reaction, I'm being shot at. I don't like being shot at. I put shield up now. Sometimes you have to just fight that instinct back and keep the shield down, because constantly putting it up over and over again does nothing but, like, give you a constantly hobbled barrier. And Reinhardt is very reliant on his barrier. It's sort of the defining aspect of his hero. So if you're constantly interrupting the recharge on the shield while it's really low health, you're just playing half a hero, or like a quarter of a hero the entire time. You have to, like, fight that instinct back and just be like, I'm going to keep shield down so I recover some, so I recover health on it and can actually, like, do stuff. Charging from a million miles away, we gave Zarya so much time to react to that Shatter, to that charge. We want the charge to be as short as possible because we don't want the enemy team to have time to react to it. Fair enough, Earth Shatter, we interrupt Coalescence as well. I don't really like that we're fighting all the way up here. I would have rather we just waited for it to get into a better position further down the track to fight over it. But the fight's going well, so at the same time. Roadhog's doing that. Don't push charge in response to Roadhog ulting. It never goes well. It's the kind of thing that feels like it should work, but it doesn't work. Yeah, fuck Soldier, am I right? Just put him in the Graviton by himself. So they caught the first checkpoint, but we've got 2.5 minutes to do that, so, you know, hopefully, you know. Feel free to put your bets in right now. As you can see, there are not 2.5 minutes left on this video, though, so probably a relatively easy bet to figure out. So, we gotta start walking in. We're sitting out here, like, real pensively. There's a Tracer behind us. Remember that when you're holding your shield up, you can hold left-click and rotate the camera around you as Reinhardt. So, if you, rather than, like, physically turning around to look, you should get used to using the rear view mirrors and just rotate the camera. Still, to this day, I often forget that I have this feature is in the game, but should do that. So we got Roadhog coming up behind us right now. All people all over Bastion. Oh, good heavens. We tried to pin Roadhog to get him away. Didn't work. I respect the attempt to try and pin the Roadhog to get him away from Bastion, but once that didn't work, we should just go back to holding the shield up, honestly, because really the way we win that team fight is Bastion kills everybody. And we as Rhinehart just basically have to try and facilitate that as much as possible. If we pinned the Roadhog, then that would have been fine. Roadhog would have died, no problem, and the team fight would have probably been easy. But once that didn't work, we had to just basically go back to blocking for Bastion and hoping he kills everybody before they kill us. Both our supports also got killed around us as well, which, you know, not cool also. Unfortunate. So we've almost got Earth Shatter built up though, and they don't have all they have is Zarya for blocking. We tried again. I'm not so big on this one because the entire team is around Bastion at this point. So I'm not a fan of this attempt right here. What I would rather we do in this situation is just keep blocking in that direction. Because yeah, Roadhog is doing this, but the entire enemy team is over there still. So even if we pin the Roadhog, like, Bastion's still getting shot at by the entire rest of the enemy team, right? So I'm not so fond of the pin in that situation. I'd rather we just keep trying to block instead right there, since the whole team is there. They had Pulse Bomb, so that probably would have gone badly regardless. Oh, never mind, I'm stupid. Why did I think that this video was only 20 minutes long? I'm stupid. I'm like sitting here like, well, there's so much time left. For some reason, I read 22 as 20. So, you know, whatever. I'm not very good at math or numbers, really. So, we have Earth Shatter built up. We got one chance left. If you had one shot, one opportunity, do not miss your chance to blow. We just immediately go for it. It wasn't great. Let's go back and look at that again. You know, this is Reinhardt, so this is important to look at. To be fair, it did look like Mercy was probably going to walk around the barrier, or in front of the stand, but she went around the back of it instead. Yeah, I probably would have done it as well, because I would have looked at that and been like, oh, Mercy's going to run in front. It did look like that, and then she didn't run in front. Don't do this. This went so much, oh my god. That's like a 1% chance of happening right there. That's absolutely incredible. We died, though. Still, as a result of it, so that wasn't cool. And, oh no, turns out we lost. Oh, fuck. What's the play of the game? It's gotta be Hanzo. Yeah. Who would have guessed? Yeah, it's fair enough, honestly. We're right at the end, what we got on the recommended list today. So this is looking good. Synchronized dance in Overwatch. Some shit's happening right there. That will never be broken. Okay. Okay. I'm colorblind. This is bad. That thing again. Rage is like a 5-year-old because he's paired with diamonds. I watched an Elon Musk interview once, so I guess that's where that comes from. 2 toxic players throw because they broke up. Okay. I don't speak that language. What the fuck is TSP? Whatever. So, elevator music playing in mind. We didn't get that many good Earth Shatters off, and shield management. Also, we positioned in some wonky locations, i.e. up at the gate, when up in the gate is, or like up in the gate on the second checkpoint. Because the first time, the first checkpoint we were up in the gate, but that's because our team was doing stupid shit, you know. Second checkpoint, we went to stand like at the top of the hill a couple times. That was a bad place to fight as a defending team. Shield management also, but that could just be because there was the one thing like really close to the end, and it's all I remember because memory. Meh. So thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us. And I hope you found the video helpful.